Life Empowerment Network, hour of the assignment as the clock strikes the designated hour of the assignment, a sense of anticipation fills the air. This hour is not just any hour, it is a time dedicated to growth, learning, and personal development. It is a moment where individuals come together to challenge themselves, push their boundaries, and strive for excellence. In this hour, we embrace the opportunity to expand our knowledge, sharpen our skills, and unlock our full potential. It is a sacred time when we set aside distractions and focus wholeheartedly on the task at hand. Each minute is precious, each moment is valuable, and each challenge is an opportunity for growth.
As we embark on this hour of the assignment, let us approach it with determination, enthusiasm, and a willingness to learn. Let us support one another, inspire each other, and celebrate our progress together. For within this hour lies the power to transform, to elevate, and to empower ourselves to reach new heights. So, as we step into the hour of the assignment, let us do so with a sense of purpose, a spirit of perseverance, and a commitment to excellence. Together, we can conquer any challenge, achieve any goal, and create a brighter, more empowered future for ourselves and those around us. Welcome.
Welcome, wherever you are. We're here from New Jersey, and today again the hour of assignment. You're welcome, wherever you are. You're welcome. Welcome, and again, we want to welcome you. Our guest today is the tour coach is here, and we want to say. Yesterday, we were talking about the topic dealing with the relationship. Actually, everybody know that as we begin this live, we want to say that our guest actually is going to be coming on to talk about the assignment. And as usual, today is one of our most important hours, the time to talk about positive people, to talk about a profile. And we went through to the week almost, I think this is our 7 or 8 guests that we started this show, and it's been very well. We want to thank God for those of us who are watching. We want to say you are most welcome wherever you are watching from. And want to say it is good to be always here to give you the best, and not only to give you the best, but to tell you about what challenges is all about and your assignment. Maybe God have called you to be a doctor. God have called you to be a motivator, or probably a coach, or someone to lift the life of other people who probably might be discouraged, and you can be there for them. Well, today we actually happen to be privileged to have in our midst. Right now, we want to say welcome to our special guest. If you are out there, we want to say you are welcome, Victoria Coach. You're welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out to me and having me here as a guest on the hour of assignment.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited, and that again you can honor our invitation to be here, because sometimes the busy schedule can allow other people, but it is good again that we are here and you actually took a time to be part of the show. You are welcome, and those of us who are watching, it's so good to know people, to get people on this show for us to learn some good things. And actually, I happen to know her from Dr. Ria, it was some very interesting story. Not just our story. If you're listening, not just our story. You see, many times, we sometimes fall short, not caring for our children, maybe because they were born, and we think we get so discouraged about the situation. But it was just that story to also motivated me, touched me, and I was so blessed when she talked about her son, and the child, had this problem, but she took care of him, and it touched me so much. And I said, no, I really want to know more about your story. But again, Victoria, you're welcome, and I appreciate you. I want to thank you for actually being there for that child, because you see, in many times, we forget about the fact that God have called us, or maybe God have given us gift, turn out a gift from God. Maybe that gift you will see it to be nothing, but it was good that after you said that, and after you took care of that your child, and today, the testimony was so great, and he's a great person. It was you. It was because of you.
Yes. I have to give glory where credit's due, and it's really through the glory of God and
Yeah.
family.
Hmm.
And just to give the audience an idea of what you're talking about, is I did an interview. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was on parenting. And during that interview, I shared the story of my son Cameron, who, when he was born, we counted toes and we counted fingers, and we had this perfect little boy, and we brought him home. And when he got to be about 2 or 3 years old, we started noticing things. He started rocking. He started to get really fixated with certain things, and we got the diagnosis that he is on the autism spectrum. And for many years, I didn't necessarily, I don't want to say I didn't accept it. It's like I knew it here, but in my heart, I kept pushing him and pushing him without really understanding, because I'm a mother of 3, that all children are different.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that each child needs to be treated differently based upon what their skills are, and how they feel and how they are, because we have innate feelings. We're born with
Yeah.
certain personalities, if you will. And as a mother, I had to learn to forgive myself. And he is
Wow.
thriving. He actually works with the youth that are on the spectrum, and it's been such a blessing for him and for me. And now he's a blessing to others.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. And like you said, now he's a blessing to others, because you took your time with him. You didn't give up on him. Like
Yes.
many others who might be listening, you didn't give up on him. And we'll come to that before we close today. It's a kind of story that I like to say. But what inspired the creation of a woman like me? Innovative.
Oh, yes. I have started a new initiative called Women Like Me.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that there are women in the church communities. I happen to be 62 years old, and I've noticed that women over 50 are sometimes not really looked upon, meaning that right now so many churches are trying to bring the youth on and they're wanting to create these disciples. And when I grew up in a long line of church leaders. My grandfather was a minister. My father was a minister. My sisters followed the footsteps as a minister. I'm an ordained minister. And what I realized as I was younger is we had church mothers, is what we called them. Yeah. Everybody knew the church mothers. They were the ones that you could call, that you could go to. They would give you spiritual, godly advice and wisdom. And I noticed that some of our modern day churches will bring the youth in, but now what?
Yeah.
Now you're here. You want to be a disciple. You have the heart to serve. You have the heart for God.
Yeah.
But these youth, these young people are crying out for mentors, and they're right here in our church. So if we can bring up the women to teach the women how to share their encounter with Jesus, because what I have learned And what I have come to know is that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So if we can mentor these women that are 50 and over, it doesn't have to be 50, but that's where I am. That's why it's women like me, 50 or older. We can mentor them. Share stories about Sarah and her patience. Share the story of the Proverbs of the woman of Proverbs 31, her kindness, her teachings, and teach these women how to help the younger. So that's what really inspired it. God just placed it on my heart. And as I'm a little older at 62 years old, I have learned to listen to the whispers.
Wow. Woman like me. I like that. And I really liked the term woman like me. What when you say woman like me, what really you have to say that little phrase, woman like me?
Yeah. So women like me who maybe feel invisible. We've spent our lives caring for others. We've been mothers, we've been sisters, we've been daughters, and our whole lives have revolved around others. We have been the caretakers, we have been the glue, and we find ourselves as we get older, we're empty nesters. The children are gone. That was our identity. Maybe we're divorced.
Yeah.
We're no longer a wife. And so we're trying to find, who are we? Who are we? Where's our place in this world now? And as a woman like me at 62, over 50, God said, you have a place. You have wisdom. You have the sagacity of years. And there's a need for you. And so it's that encouragement to reach out to women like me, empty nesters. Maybe you're divorced. Maybe you're still married. Maybe your husband isn't in the church like you want him to be. And you want to share your story and the glory of Jesus, and you don't know how.
Can you share some of the challenges? Some of the challenges women like me aim to address. For women today.
I would say lack of knowledge, or they feel they don't have the knowledge, because we know our people perish for lack of knowledge. And to have someone to come along and mentor the mentor, to have someone that say, it doesn't matter what you've been through. So a challenge would be low confidence. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. I'm not good at this. I don't know the Bible like all these people. I can't pray like they do in the church. And so it's always that what I call that itty bitty committee in the mind that's telling us that we're no good, that tells us that we're not enough, that tells us that we may fail, that tells us that this is all there is. It's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are some really major challenges that we face.
Yeah.
And just finding out, who are we? And we need that reminder of who God says we are. Who are we? We're the salt of the earth. We're the light on the hill. We're the city built on the hill.
Yeah.
We have so many things that we're ambassadors for Christ. We're disciples.
Wow.
And we need to learn that. We need to feel that.
Wow.
And if there's no teacher.
Yeah. Challenges.
When ready, the teacher will appear. So what if we can equip these women like me with confidence, with boldness, with courage?
So, those of us are listening and we talking, about challenges, when it comes to women like me and her own, the vision and, the assignment and, impacting in women, and especially those of us who might feel intimidated. Sometimes we feel rejected in our society. Sometimes we're going through domestic violence, abuse, in our communities. Probably we feel, we can't talk to nobody because, it's not easy. Our language and sometimes our education. No, she is saying, well, you got to rise up and be challenged, even though you might be going through a time or difficult situation. But again, you can look at yourself and say, but woman like me, if I can get up, in the morning, and like the 35 Proverbs 35 kind of woman, and someone who have gone through a lot. You see, and what she said, if you go back and see, even when she started her discussion, when we started the discussion and gave some a little bit of history about how I got to be connected to her, looking at the patient that she had. Woman like me will have to go through this with my son. I didn't give up with him, and also woman like you that is listening, or who will listen to the sound of our voices. And this evening, you can be the same. You could be going through something and feel, oh, I'm not able. I'm so I'm coming from the insignificant country, or a person, or a family. I'm not able to speak. And those are challenges. Yes. So, Victoria, right when you talk about the challenges, or what are the basic thing that that you can advise some of the women, that they need to take some time in being a mother?
Yes, know your worth. Know your worth.
Yes,
it really starts with that. Being a wife, a mother, and there's nothing you could have done or can do in your life that will separate you from the love of God. There's nothing. When we think about women like us is a 6-week study, and we study women of the Bible, and one of those is Rahab. Rahab was a prostitute.
Yes.
And women were not treated very well back then. We don't know all of her stories, but as we go through the study, I speak a little bit more about who she is and perhaps where she could have come from. But it doesn't matter. And what this is really, the important part here is that this is intergenerational. Yeah. So there are young people coming up with mental illness. There are young people coming up who want to make a difference in the world, but they don't know how. They don't know who to talk to. Maybe they have parents who are immature. Maybe they've coming out of a narcissistic situations. Maybe they have alcoholic parents. They need women like me. They need women that they can talk to. And this isn't just for women, right? Men too. Step up. We can all become disciples.
Wow. Men to step up. and I like the way the discussion is going, because many women have placed themselves into a position, and I tell people that I say it is women that makes leaders. Leaders who are leaders must have come from a home of a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes. Yes.
So when she said, okay, women like me, and even if you're going through challenges, you might have a little kid. When I was born, Victoria, you have my late mother, may also rest in peace. I was told, this is why I tell people I'm motivated all the time. I was told that my mother would have to take me from the house because I was very small, premature. And I want to be thrown out on the garbage for the dog to take care of me. And my mother said, "No, I'm not gonna take my son away. I'm gonna take him." And she took me from the house and took me to an older lady who will have to take care of me and have to wrap me up more than 50 different blankets to make me look bigger. Yeah. So my question to myself was, had it not been that way, woman like me, woman like her, woman like other women who would see the child, or probably who would think that, well, birth for the child after 9 months and say, okay, yeah, I agree. Where would I be today? I would have not known you. I would not got to know Rhea or any other guys.
Yes. Absolutely. No man has come on this earth but through a woman.
Yes.
Right?
for
And when we can always bond, when we can come together, we're so powerful. And actually, mental health, they've done studies, has shown that a mother's mental health has a direct effect on her children.
yes,
And
sure.
therefore would also have a direct effect on society as a whole, right? And by the way, I'm streaming live on my Facebook page. I can't see who's on it or who's not. And I know you're streaming live as well.
Wow.
So if there's any questions that you'd like to have for us, please go ahead. Hopefully you can send me messages. If not, we will be sure to answer them as we go along, as we can.
Okay, yes. Or you can send a message if you want. You can call, or probably, or maybe you want to ask a question. You are also free to ask a question. Okay, but I'm so delighted to see to have you on the show, and those of us who are listening, mothers, a woman like me, or probably a girl like me, cannot continue my education, cannot really keep this child, or cannot really pursue a higher education, cannot really do this, cannot maintain this marriage, cannot continue this relationship.
Yes, yes. Whatever your situation is,
yes,
when we realize that it's not by our might, but by God's power that we're delivered. I have tried so many years of my life to do it my way, to rely on my own power, and to rely. And the people who are around you are so important. I was fortunate to have a good family, but in my work, because I am also a master hypnotherapist and I help people get over childhood trauma, that's something else that I do. And when I see and I work with these clients, I feel their heart, because it's not necessarily their fault that they're in the situation that they were in. But sooner or later, we have to stop playing victim. Sooner or later, we have to say enough is enough. Sooner or later, we've got to step up. And I don't know a better way to determine your wealth to determine your worth in this world as to know that somebody loved you enough to bring you here.
Wow.
God loved you enough that he gave his only son. But somebody thought enough of you, regardless of what their mental state was, thought enough to bring you here. And you come out as a champion because you have fought and you have made your way out of billions or millions, whatever that number is, of sperm, if I can say that word. You beat them out. You were born. So you are born a champion. You are born a champion.
Wow. And, it was some the word it would be because of somebody, God first, but it was because of a mother like that mother, like your mother, like whether she was mentally ill, whether she was nothing, it was that mother that brought you forth. And that's what we all cherish, when it comes to talking about women empowerment, talking about how women can be empowered, because when women are in power, you have society, you have a generation of people who are in power, because they carry a lot of laws. And I tell people, from the beginning of conception all the way to the time they carried that baby, and they come out, and that baby comes out and stay, they take care again and again, and take care until that baby comes out crawling and walking and go to school, come out of school. So that's a lot. So when you say a woman like me, and then it makes us to believe that it was a lot. It was a lot, and we need to also keep celebrating women. But want to encourage those of us who are women who are listening to our special guest, Victoria Church is here, and is so excited to be with her today. And I want to know the challenges of Victoria. I mean, the success. What do you think if you highlight a success story in the impactful movement since the initiation of the woman like me?
Oh, success stories?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. So I was in a group at church, at my church, and I was a different group. And to watch women to be able to share their story and to be empowered by other women that will see in them what they cannot see within themselves. That's the power. That's the success of women like me, is to be able to look at a woman who feels unworthy, who doesn't know how to share her encounter with Jesus, who doesn't know how that she's a disciple and how to create other disciples, to have other women come along beside her and let her know how beautiful she is inside and out. Doesn't matter the physical appearance. But to see a woman go from this to sitting up straight and smiling and walking in a purpose, that is a beautiful thing. And then to see her who thought she was a nobody and nothing, to see her bringing up the young people, to see her shepherding, to see her serving, to see her smiling, I can't think of better success. You've lost your audio.
Even when you go through, once you're going through her pain, she's encouraged, and she motivated. Even when she go through a time, that there are women, in the world today that we celebrate, that when they tell you their story, then you want to ask yourself, woman like me cannot go through that, like the woman, with the issue of blood, with the woman in the Bible, or looking at the faith of women like Sarah, looking at the faith. And Hannah, looking at her faith, even she didn't go to the priest.
Mm-hmm.
Woman like Hannah, she would have been fighting with Penina, her mate.
Yeah. Then how about Esther?
Yes.
Esther. How about Esther, who went before the king? And Deborah. I'm sorry, that was Deborah. And Deborah. I mean, there is so many women in the Bible that we can draw our strength from. So many stories there that if we only had a place to go to learn, if we had encouragement, if we had someone who would show us kindness, imagine how powerful you could truly be.
If we have someone, if we have someone to show our kindness and love, the kind of love, like when we're talking about how a woman who would abandon her child, and probably because, well, okay, the man say, I don't have money to, and she go through some mental illness, and I wanted to bring this question, and just, it's not a question for you to just try to bring it out and to encourage women who might be going through or might have gone through some issues with some of the relationship, because if not all of us, many women go through this time, sometime when they have to carry it, especially in Africa, when they have to carry 2-3 children, but then the men just left in alone with those children to struggle. What do you think could be some of the motivation for them to understand that, yes, it is true? What can they do when it comes to a woman like me, talking about their illness?
Yes, and see, this is where the community comes in it.
Okay.
This is where the community, you reach out to the community. You're honest, and like, this is what we're suffering with. I was a single mother of 3 children. There's a lot of single mothers out there that struggle. I remember not being able to keep my utilities on. My lights were off. I couldn't keep heat in my, and I'm in the United States, like you, right?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, and that's the thing. We think that these things happen in certain countries, but you'd be surprised how often it happens right here in the United States.
Yeah.
Me walking with holes in my shoes. And the thing is, with women like me, we have to square our shoulders and we just have to keep going, because we have to understand that there's got to be a better life. Figure out a way to get education. Figure out a way to learn. We are all gifted with something. Maybe you sew. Maybe you can sew. Maybe you weave. Maybe you're good with watching other people's children. So it's about determining what your strengths are and figuring out how to use them and how to make money with them.
Wow. Wow. So it's so enjoyable. Those of us who are watching us on the Hour of Assignment. Now, I didn't know, Victoria, actually, that you were actually a mother, and beside being a mother with three, you are an ordained minister of the gospel. And let me talk about it a little bit, because many times we meet up with women, and sometimes people say women shouldn't preach, and looking like women like me, and talking about motivating women. How do you see it on the pulpit? How do you see it in spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ out there?
Yes. The way that we envision with women like me is really a 6-week discipleship program.
Okay.
Where we will study women of the Bible. We will study Sarah, Rahab, Mary Magdalene, who was the first to say Jesus had risen. And so the idea is to equip these women to be able to go about the youth that are screaming for help, that needs help in their own discipleship. So whether she's on the pulpit, or whether she's on the corner, or whether she's in her own home, the idea is to equip her to be a disciple for God. And we don't have to see. Here's the thing: I get asked this every once in a while when I'm getting interviewed, because I'm the author of 4 books. 2 of them are international bestsellers, and people ask me, Victoria, how does it feel to touch lives and you never know who they are? I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's one person or a million people. We are the drop in the ocean. It's up to God to bring in the harvest.
Wow.
It's up to Him. We do our part, whatever it's small. I like to share this story quite often. And there was a little boy, and he was very, very poor. And one day he happened to go down the street where a couple of shop owners were. There were 2 shop owners. There was a shop owner on one side of the street and on the other side of the street. And they would come out every morning and they would sweep their sidewalks.
Yeah.
Well, one of the shop owners happened to hear the other shop owner yelling and screaming. And he's like, oh my gosh, what is this ruckus that's going on? And he happens to look, and he sees this little boy being screamed at by this shop owner because he had stolen some bread and some milk. And the little boy, he apparently wasn't well kept. He was unkept. His hair, he was dirty, looked like he hadn't bathed in days. Wow. And so the gentle, I will call him the gentle shop owner, beckoned the boy to come to him. And so the other shop owner got the boy to come to him, and he gave him some soup and some bread and some milk. And so the little boy just ran off, and he never saw that little boy again, ever.
Oh.
Years and years later, this man is laying in his hospital bed, the shop owner, and his daughter is sitting by his bed. And on the table is a hospital invoice, the bill. And she has no idea how she's going to pay it. And she's in tears. They don't have money. They have nothing to sell. The father just owned a shop for years. He was a shop owner. She looks on the side of the dresser. She picks up the invoice, knowing she can't pay it. And she opens it up, and it reads, paid in full. Wow. It said, I am the doctor who operated on your father. Many years ago, when my mother was sick, your father showed me kindness and gave me soup and bread. We don't know how many lives did that little boy save. He became a doctor.
Wow.
So when we talk about being in the pulpit, when we talk about being out, that's not what's important. Whether we're saving one life or millions of lives, we do our part, and God will do the rest.
Hmm.
Like that
We
chocolate.
do our part. Yes, and we do our part, and God will do the rest. Yes, because you don't know the next person, or probably, or that child that you are rescuing, or that woman, or that mother that is carrying that child. And you know, sometimes we can see pregnant mother and what they go through, and people just don't care about them, and they carry that child, and, you know, and then probably just. It's just a story to say that woman like me, and if I can carry the child, no matter what happens, no matter what challenges I go through, I'm gonna be encouraged, and because I don't know what that child will become. So let me carry that child. And I want to
In
ask
my
you,
own case,
yeah,
in my own case with my son. Now
mm,
he's helping other people that are
yes,
on the autism spectrum.
mm,
And praise God to him. I didn't know what he was going to grow up to be.
no,
And he's grown up to be a fine young man with a heart for God and service.
mm. And you know the question is, how do women like me incorporate mentorship and community building into its program?
Yes. On mentorship, whether it's one on one or whether it's group, learning to maybe lead a Bible study in your church, maybe to create your own group, your own
Mm,
6 week study. Learn to be a facilitator as a way that you could do it. You can, the idea though is really to take women like me into the churches,
yeah,
part of their education program,
okay.
so that the women can be educated. And you can go out into your communities and facilitate a group. You can see women who are hurting, women who need help, women who need to stand a little taller, be a little prouder, and
Hmm.
you'll be equipped with that. So we talk about, I mentioned Mary Magdalene. So part of the 6 week study is to go out and do a community activity to give back, because she was the first one that says, you know, he is risen.
Hmm.
She brought
Yes,
the news of Jesus. She had faith in action.
faith
And
in.
so women like us will also be faith in action. And we
Hmm.
will mentor. You see a young person, a young mother, take them under your wing, mentor them, be there for them. Sometimes people just need you to listen to them.
How
People don't always need you to fix their problem.
no,
Sometimes they just need you to
to
listen.
listen to them. Yeah. Hmm. So, you know, those of us who are listening, the challenges and how can we build kind of relationship when it comes to mentorship and community, initiative. The woman like me can be you can invite her, you can talk to her, and it's I just got to know more about this because I think it's one of my passion also to reach communities, and because you see, communities are built based on the people with positive mind, people who want to make a change. The change cannot come because, well, we have community. The change come because we have people who want to make the change and who are ready and prepared to make the change. So, woman like me, the initiative, like Victoria is saying, I want to also join her in a word, and, encourage those of us out there, and, because according to what this program is all about, coming, talking to you. You might be going through some mental illness. You might be having some problem. You might be depressed, thinking that there's no one out there. And woman like me saying, well, okay, we are all here. We are here. We you are not in this alone. We are there with you. Yes, we know that Christ said that He always with us. But the second person here is the disciple. We're talking about, like woman like me, disciple. And we're talking about disciple, people that on assignment. And so those of us who are listening, we want to say you can reach out to her too. We're going to come, and before we close, we're going to come with a last word. But I want to say to you that I said, Victoria, you do a wonderful job, and for women like me, if I were to say woman like me, a woman like you, a woman in the world who are out there today listening, you might be in your community and in your church. It may be a little community church, but there's something about you. There's something inside of you. You need to be motivated. And woman like me is a kind of group according to what we are hearing, and from the foundation, we can see that the initiative there to wake you up, the gift. There's something inside of you that can be better than what you think about yourself.
Yes.
Yes. We want to say to Victoria, what do you think? Going to different churches, what is some of the strategies do you have in the future?
You mean to reach out?
Yes.
Reach
Yes.
out?
Yes.
Well, the strategy that we have is, first of all, to let people understand that the three pillars that we stand on are Christ, connection, and community.
Okay.
Those are our three pillars. Okay. And we have a club. We have womenlikeme.club. It's here written. You could go there and join the community. Right now, it's a Facebook community. Okay. But God has shown me a grand vision for this. And we will be reaching out to the churches in their education department to see about bringing the Women Like Me program to the churches. It's a 6-week program. It's a workshop. And at the end, we want to help you to have the faith of Sarah. We want to help you to have the discernment of Deborah. We want you to have the faith and the action of Mary and of Rahab. And we're going to walk along beside you. And we're going to help you discover your gifts and your purpose.
Help you discover your gift and your purpose. And I'm so interested here at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Shiloh, and we know we definitely going to install this program, and we're going to talk more about it after during our time of the show. And because actually women build society. So if women like me want to really build up and begin from the church level or from the community level, I think it's a good program for those of us who are listening, and to begin to focus on some of the things. Forget about the past, forget about what is around you, and think about who you are. Yeah. You see, look at the 5W. Where did I come from? Who am I? Where did I come from? What am I here? What can I do? And where am I going? Mm-hmm. Understanding your purpose in life, understanding why God have actually created you. Why are you on this planet? Why are you in that local church? Probably you have a gift inside of you, and you can better rise up and become a great leader. Woman like you might be discouraged, and well, you might not be, as you listen, you might not be encouraged because you have gone through a lot of relationships that let you down. You have no father, ain't no children. Your children's father have left, and you are carrying the children alone. Woman like you can be encouraged. Woman like you can rise up like Victoria, who today, she was so proud of her son, and her son today is making a great legacy. He's leaving only because of Victoria Kirk today, who is on this show, and he's making a lot of positive steps. But because woman like her, could say, "Oh no, I'm not going to allow my child to suffer. No, I got to take care of him. I know there's something about him. There's something inside of this child." And a woman like you who are listening, I want to encourage you too. You can be like her and like many other women.
Yeah. Well, I always say you could be like you, because there's only one you, and you are uniquely and
only one you.
But it's women like me. We're together. Christ, connection, and community. And a lot of women like me need that. We need a place to go. We need a place where we are celebrated. And women like me, with the Proverbs 31, we're going to do that. We're going to show you kindness. We're going to show you love. We're going to be open-armed, and we're going to embrace you. It doesn't matter what you did, because your past does not define you. It refines you, as J.B. Owen says. We are not our past, and we get to choose our future.
Wow. And the last question, and not just to take you back, what are the future goals or upcoming projects for women like
Yes. So our idea right now is to start to get into the churches, the local churches here. I am in Indianapolis, Indiana. And then we have a global mission to go over to Asia, to go over to Africa, and to really, really, really build disciples in women like me.
Wow. And you said, and I said, wow, those are some of the things we're talking about, going to Africa, going to places. that people really need the gospel they are going through. And I will tell you, even in Liberia, places that people don't really realize that the thing called mental illness.
Yes.
And says Victoria, some of the thing, in Africa, Liberia, where we came from, is where the black slave, the slave Negro from the United States were taken, called Liberia. It's a free land of liberty. And if you look at the history, you see that many people who that Joseph Jacob Riber, more than almost 14 different presidents, was born in America. Now that country, sometimes when you see people go through mental illness, and sometimes they say they are crazy. Sometimes they take them to places they don't have enough probably facility. And not only Liberia, Africa as a whole go through a lot of stress with women because of they go through their own problem.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that to normalize that it's okay to get help from the neck up, just like it's okay to get help from the neck down.
Yeah.
We need to be able to accept that. And I know in the African American community, it's getting better. But I remember growing up that if there was mental illness, we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it. We didn't get help for it. It was like it didn't exist.
Wow. And I thought of it in a way back when I saw people behaving like, well, they were really crazy. But because of this mental illness, like in some of the countries, ignorance about what it means, when a woman just jump out of her home and start speaking different language and acting like, well, something is going on. We don't have any medicine. We don't know what is going on. And sometimes they would take these women to places that is not even a solution.
You're right. And that's what I was going to say. Even the ideal behind women like me is to be able to reach out, because sometimes it's not mental illness. It's stress. It's anxiety.
Yes, stress.
It's stress and anxiety. It's not mental illness. A lot of times, I don't want to minimize and say people do not have mental illness. I am not saying that. But a lot of times, if you can get your mindset right, you're able to conduct yourself in a very different way. Oh, you muted again.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. So sometimes, and that's what I find, because as a certified inner child healer, I find a lot of times when working with people, they will spend years and years in talk therapy and be on medicine. Yeah. And a lot of times, if you get to the root cause of what's really going on with them, they can come off those meds. I used to take antidepressants for many, many years.
Wow.
I no longer take them. I don't need them anymore. Doctors like, you don't need them anymore. But a lot of times, if we can relieve some stress or help with the shift in thinking, you'll see a lot of those symptoms go away. And women like me is there to help, because that's the purpose. If you can find purpose in your life, then your worries aren't as bad, because you're looking ahead, because you're looking into the now. It's who can I help? Because the greatest way to help yourself is to serve others.
The greater way to help, yes, is to
women like me will help you do that. Will give you the confidence to help you do that.
Wow. Yeah, giving the confidence, and she said the greater way to help yourself is to help others. And one of the way she spoke about how our mental illness people are treated, and sometimes we don't realize that we're going through this thing, except somebody come to be a help. And a woman like me is talking about reaching out there, not only with helping, but with the gospel, to make you to know and introducing you to Christ, but then not only introducing you to Christ, but helping you to take you from that place where you're going to be empowered with the word and be able to understand why you are an important person. You are very much peculiar, and women who are listening, to be peculiar, or for you to be person who are standing for your community, and standing for the child, standing as a woman. And because when you say woman like me, it means that you have something inside of you. When you just look at you say woman like me, even though I'm going through this thing, but I know that I'm very important and I know that I can make it. And that's one of the motivational thing about women like me. I know that I can make it. Like we name all the women in the Bible. There are great women in the world. We have women who are making headline. It was because they have the same thought. Woman like me, I can make it.
Yeah.
So, Victoria, as we close, those of us who are listening, we want to motivate you. How can people reach you? How, to talk about, whether they want to be part of what you're doing. How can they get to you?
Wonderful. I would like for you to join our community. So if you would go to womenlikeme.club, you would be able to give us your information and join our community. If you want to reach out to me directly, and obviously I'm in the club, you can also go to info@justaskvictoria.com. No, that's not it. It's Victoria@justaskvictoria.com. If you go to justaskvictoria.com, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Just type me in. I'm easy to find. But
Yeah.
I really encourage you to go to womenlikeme.club. Join the community.
Join the community. And I'm going to be talking to her to get more information, and then I will be passing it on to. I'm going to be sending it out there on YouTube or Twitter, and sending those information also in helping to extend. And that's why we do here. And when we bring people on our show, once we see the motivation, we see the kind of vision they have, we not only sit and say, okay, after the show, then we finish. And no, we're going to use this information and get more information extensively, and to wherever we can reach on social media, in Instagram, on Twitter, and then on how to call it on Twitter. Okay, so this is all about those of us who are listening. I want us, as we close, to listen to her in her last statement, in her party statement. And I want to say, you are welcome, and don't be afraid to ask a question. Don't you can go to your inbox, and maybe you want to be part of the woman like me. And it's open, like she said, and then she's here to help you. So as we close, I'll say, doctor, I calling you doctor now because it's more than doctor, Reverend. Reverend Doctor.
No, not Reverend Doctor, not quite. Victoria.
Victoria. Yeah. So it was actually it was excited being with you, and I think I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I feel so overwhelmed being part of what you're doing, and I can tell you that. Well, I love the program, and we really I'm going to, because we have a program coming up in here in Trenton, New Jersey, and we're talking about how we can get women involved into the community, building up a community, of law, building up a community, reaching up there with the word of God. So we will talk to you more about how we can get involved and make it more active here too. Okay, the woman like me. Yeah. So again, I want to as our parting statement, Victoria, what can you say to the audience in your parting statement?
Yes. I see you. You matter. You are enough.
Yeah. You matter.
You matter. You are enough. I see you.
Wow. You are so important. So again, I want to say, since Victoria, you are most, I just celebrate you for what you've done and what you continue to do. I want to encourage you because, not many women will, especially we do some of the things, especially caring single mother for, 3 children, and all the team you went through, but God was there with you, and I think God can also be there for them. That's why you say, woman like me. A woman like me can go through my situation. A woman like Sarah, a woman like the proverb woman, a woman like every other woman in the Bible can go through their problem. You, as a woman who is listening or who will listen to this program, join a woman like me and be part of this program. You might be going through a time and you want to give up. I want to encourage you not to just be like Victoria, no, but to join the initiative and be able to make a change in your society. We depend on you. You are our mothers, and continue to be the mothers like a mother that don't great all other mothers who we celebrate. So I want to thank you, and I'll thank God for you, Sister Victoria. We keep talking, and I promise that we're gonna make sure to promote and talk about it more, on the social media, wherever we can do, to make sure promote a woman like me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please
Thank
join our community, womenlikeme.club.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to do that. Definitely. You send it to me. I'm going to look at it and go straight into it tonight.
Okay.
God bless you, and we talk again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.